I could tell you a whimsical tale that's probably very inaccurate.
The Sensible Sociopath.
2, 3, 1, go.
Roma, the podcast is here!
It really never gets old.
Sorry about those jokes I said earlier about babies with both sets of genitals.
What does that even mean?
You know, I'm willing to risk my life for this podcast, Roma.
Ugh, that sounds insane.
I'm also willing to risk your life for this podcast.
Periods are not just for women.
And you'll get to red pill yourself if you choose to.
Come on if you're thirsty.
Take off their underwear and relax with their uncle.
It was kind of traumatizing.
White people are bad and do bad things.
How fast can I eat your ass?
I mean, you know, you look at me and you go, this is an international man.
My whole life is a sham.
And you can't get the white Oreos, that's racist.
I think I counted like 25 racially charged jokes.
White privilege allows me to turn off someone's headlights.
I was just being agreeable.
Roma, when was the last time you were agreeable?
It's been days.
Also, if you try to poop really hard, sometimes you'll come.
You would think that we'd have our shit together.
It's the enema for your face.
Yeah, I was gonna say cleaning's for women.
I'm not a lady, Roma.
Oh, this is so gay.
Let's try to be inclusive, Roma.
What does that even mean?
I know these things, Roma. I know many things. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 90
Woohoo!
of the Sensible Sociopath podcast. We are live on a Friday night, so if you're watching us, we're probably live. Or this is previously recorded.
In
One
which
of
case we aren't live.
Well, we might still be alive.
That's true.
That's what's important, Roma, staying alive. Let's see, where's that sound drop?
Well, let's not start sucking each other's dicks quite yet.
Close enough.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was getting
Yeah.
my hopes up.
Yeah, here we go, OnlyFans. So, welcome everybody to the show. We did miss last week, so this should be episode 91.
So this episode is going to be twice as good as normal, even.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I mean, judging from the lineup, the guests, the audience, you can obviously chat with us if you'd like to participate in the show, and we will address those chats that are worthy.
Sweet.
Daniel says Steve squared.
Steve squared indeed.
Yep. If we were going to start a business,
Like a strip
club, obviously.
duo.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Kaylee says woohoo!
Welcome to the show. So we actually did have a Steve squared business for a little while there.
Well, yeah.
Sort of.
I mean,
you know, hand jobs under bridges. Look,
Two Steves in a truck.
that's right. Exactly. Yes, where we lifted heavy things and did all sorts of stuff. That was, it's fun stuff. Good times.
That was a good time.
You know what else is a good time, everyone? Mr. Potato Head.
Potato. No, I'm sorry. It's just potato person now.
Gender fluid potato.
It's actually, he's not a person. It's like potato being.
Yes. And did you actually know that Mr. Potato Head was actually you just got the accessories and you had to provide your own potato at a certain point?
Are you serious?
Yes.
They should have just called it Mr. Accessories then.
Well, and then the
Technically.
Irish potato famine came along.
Right. Yeah.
So then they had to make a giant plastic potato because no one could even get a potato.
Mr.
Why didn't they just turn it into like Mr. Cucumber Head?
I think they probably did. Mr. Cabbage Head.
Yeah,
Mr.
cabbage was popular.
Mr. Your Mother's Dildo Head.
Yep.
There was that.
That was
one.
probably also a cucumber.
Down in Florida, Mr. Orange Head.
There you go, like a
You know?
sun-kissed.
Yeah.
What about Mr. Peach Head for Georgia?
Yeah. See, that kind of, it's just like a regional deal.
Yeah.
We all know that peaches and bananas are the dirtiest of fruits,
So I guess Idaho would be
the most sexual.
You're talking about emoji fruits.
Well,
No,
we
that's
have
the eggplant.
Yeah, the
Oh, that's
eggplant
true.
and the droplets.
Well, yeah.
If she's doing it right, he or she. Sorry, Zer Potato Head. I don't know.
So then I guess Idaho would be a potato. But that segue into what's Idaho trying to do right now?
So there are a bunch of counties in Oregon, which is a bastion of the liberals, with I believe it's Portland and Eugene are kind of the liberal meccas of Oregon, and it lies right between Washington State, which you know is the home of Antifa with the Seattle
The Chaz Chop.
area there, the
Yeah.
Chaz, Chop.
Mm-hmm.
Famous for what was his name, the rapper Raz Simone. Yeah,
Yeah.
Raz
Yeah,
Simone.
something like
Ra's
that,
al
yeah.
Ghul. Yeah.
Yes, I'm a SoundCloud aficionado. You can listen to our show on SoundCloud, but we don't pay for the service, so there's only two episodes.
Wasn't
at
he a
time.
villain on Batman?
Ra's al Ghul? Yes,
I mean, the rapper from Seattle.
Yeah, Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Also
believe-
ninja rapper.
I believe he was a complex character that also trained Batman, but was part of the League of Shadows, the founder of the League of Shadows. And so Bane was also one of the League of Shadow members who Batman really betrayed, or Bruce Wayne betrayed, because he did not follow through with the League of Shadows' plan to take over the world. He used their own tricks against them.
He's so smart. That's why I love him.
Sarah says that googly eyes makes anything sentient.
I mean,
That is true.
technically, yeah.
Yeah, like a Roomba. Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
hilarious? Why don't they come with googly eyes? They're just
Yeah.
wandering around your house blind.
That would probably be a good invention, is to make like faces for Roombas.
Yeah.
If Roomba came out with like a dog and cat Roomba series where there's little ears and nose, and I mean, that would be huge. People would buy that for sure.
Yeah.
If it went around and it looked like your dog or looked like a cat or whatever, that'd be cute.
And then you accidentally back over your Roomba. Yeah. It looks like your dog. Like it's literally that you 3D print a shell that looks like your dog. An artist airbrushes it.
The police come into your house, shoot your dog Roomba.
Yeah.
It's a dog. Yeah. That was a good sound effect.
Yeah. Well, cops carry Uzis.
Right.
In Uganda.
They do.
I mean, I don't know. Cartel probably does. Some nickel-plated ones. Because they're classy. Classier. The boots that are really long.
Mm-hmm.
So Roma, leading us astray. So the red counties in Oregon want to join forces because they have basically Washington above and California below. They want to join forces with Idaho, which is to the right, and become, I believe it's called Greater Idaho.
Greater Idaho,
Greater
I think.
Idaho.
Yes.
I think it's a terrific idea.
And there's this initiative that it would actually kind of carve like almost the entire state of Oregon
Yeah,
out.
it's like 75%.
And that would actually give Idaho some beachfront property as well, which is
would be
pretty cool.
Super cool.
Yeah, because we're a big fan of the red states taking back some of the territory that
Right.
We took from.
well, yeah, I
the-
mean,
And I've always wanted to go to the beach, but I'll be damned if I'm going to go to a liberal beach.
Exactly.
So
That's right. What do they even do there? Which bathroom do I use? Do I have to wear a one piece?
right.
No,
Yeah.
but you do have to wear 3 masks.
Right.
That's probably true, but not one over your butthole.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea. I think
Mm-hmm.
I think it would go well.
Well, and that's
Plus, it would push Idaho to legalize as well, which I support.
that'd be an interesting part. So Oregon's got everything legalized.
Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
I wonder
I
how
could
that
see
would
it.
work.
I could see at least pot happening, because you would have so many people that have prescriptions.
Yeah.
Right. But
And
most, pretty much the 75% of Oregon that Idaho would take, those people, they don't care about any drug besides marijuana. The heroin, meth, whatever that's legal now, or it's not legal, but it's decriminalized up in Portland. The only people that care about that live in Portland.
yeah,
The rest of the state's like, yeah, I mean, any state with common sense wants pot to be legal.
I would say probably the hardcore drugs are, I'm sure meth is probably prevalent, because people like stimulants.
Mhm.
There's always going to be those people like the coke, obviously cocaine and crack cocaine are very popular in inner city areas. Crack cocaine, especially because of how cheap it is.
Yeah,
and
it's
how
the most bang for your buck.
Definitely.
And
Yeah.
it's a really crazy high, apparently.
Yeah. Really good. That one's for the kids. Cover the ears. No,
Don't do drugs, kids.
Oh yeah, or try them all. But so I think the cheapness which methamphetamine can be produced. Now, all right, that is a dated statement though, because with all the pseudoephedrine, controls that they put out,
Mhm.
it probably is a lot more to make it outside of some place like Mexico.
It's
you
harder
know,
to get the ingredients.
because and China gives us a lot of the ingredients, or gives the cartels a lot of the ingredients. So what they've discovered is that the supply chain is really like a lot of fentanyl coming from China
Mhm.
and being shipped to Mexico to then be
Brought up here.
brought into the U.S. So I would imagine probably pseudoephedrine is probably a lot easier to get through down there than it is to buy from, the pharmacies here.
Do you think meth heads know about coffee? I mean,
But coffee makes you jittery.
right. That's a good
Yeah,
point.
got to think of that. It's really
Yeah.
hot. You burn your mouth.
You got to pee a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, your teeth will turn brown.
Mm-hmm. As
Instead of,
opposed to falling out.
yeah, better to just have them rot out of your face.
I mean, I think like you're so busy though that you don't really notice.
Yeah.
And you don't really eat much either.
Well, no matter what laws there are or have been, drug use has always been about the same, and it's about 1% of the population, roughly. It's just always hovering in the 1% to 2% range. It's what it's always been, legal or illegal. It doesn't matter. People are going to use it. I say, if we're going to put money somewhere, put it into rehab facilities rather than, putting them in jail, which doesn't help anybody.
Steph says that today Washington State announced no arrest for people in possession of any drugs.
Oh,
Today, they
And
announced that.
Yeah.
Margot said she had a friend die from fentanyl.
Oh, that's too bad.
yeah. I bet you that was one cool friend though. Because all drug users are cool. What? Oh, I'm so sorry.
That
everyone.
was the.
Hold on.
Do some kind of sound effect.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I bombed.
Yeah.
Speaking of bombs,
Oh shit.
thank goodness Biden's keeping us safe from those Syrians.
Yeah. I didn't know where that was going.
Remember that time where we had no new wars?
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that 4 years where we didn't start any new wars? That was great. It was good.
Yeah. Well, but we weren't making a lot of money. The real
Right.
important people.
Well-
Raytheon wasn't selling to, Egypt and.
Right. The underlying deal here is an oil pipeline. I mean, they're trying to put an oil pipeline through part of Syria, and Syria is not allowing it.
Yeah, because it's
So-
ugly though. Like we're trying to stop them, right? Because the oil pipeline's ugly.
Yeah,
And
we
it'll-
don't want them here in America.
It looks bad,
Right.
so you don't want it there.
We'll fight it
What-
here in America, but we'll.
Here's what you want.
Yeah.
You want a tanker truck driving through Texas, and you want it to be
And-
hit by a train
Full of also oil.
full of gas, and then you want a massive fireball explosion literally 2 days ago.
Did you
Oh,
saw that
shit.
video?
I didn't see
Yes.
that.
Oh my! So, Roma, do you remember the that gas truck explosion that
was it
I
Kentucky?
saw in Kansas or whatever?
Kansas or Kentucky.
I remember
somewhere.
that
over
video.
there.
Yeah.
I think you
Yeah.
sent the video.
Yeah, I mean, huge. It literally.
Mhm.
I thought this video
Mhm.
was the same as what I was like. Oh, it's that video. It's the thing I saw,
Yeah,
which was a
boring.
few years. Where was it? Kansas or
Oklahoma or
Nebraska?
something?
Or, no, oh yeah, maybe it was
I think
Oklahoma.
I feel like it was.
I think it was.
I got a real
Oklahoma.
oaky feel about it.
Oaky.
Mhm. Very little dokey, but much oaky.
Very oaky flavors, oaky undertones.
Yes.
Yeah, so I thought it was the same. I've seen something live like that, and
Yeah.
it was crazy.
Now that's not bad for the environment, though, right?
No,
That's good for the
Nope.
environment.
It's returning the oil to the sky where
You're-
it belongs.
You see all that carbon that just burnt off?
That's carbon that's not going to be in cars and planes, so it's better.
Exactly. That gasoline won't be used for all those dirty works that people have to do to keep the economy going.
Yeah, I was looking into wind turbines this week
Okay.
and found out that the amount of energy just to produce the steel and the products that create just the physical windmill. That's
Mhm.
not the energy for the plant to produce it, not the energy for the people to drive to the plant every day for months and months to produce it.
Sure.
None
the
of-
raw
None-
materials.
none of the other
Yeah.
extraneous factors.
Mhm.
Not the concrete to hold it in the ground, not the batteries that it needs to charge. None of that, just the windmill. And it supposedly depending on where you put it, if it's windy or not, will pay itself off in roughly, like, this best case scenario is like the 3 to 5 year window.
Okay.
But if it's not a really, really productive area, it's a 15 plus year window to pay
Yeah.
itself off. Just the materials for the windmill, not all the other stuff to create the windmill.
And
But the useful life of the windmill before they destroy it is 15 to 20 years. So that doesn't seem very green.
So right
to
when you
me.
break even is when
Right.
it pays,
Yeah,
it's
that's pretty much
paying
the message.
its dues.
Yeah. And there might be some that kind of pay off after 5 or 10 years. There might be some, but if it's not highly productive, it's not going to pay itself off. So
And I think that that's one of the things that people don't think about, or we don't think too deeply into. So we have things like the Green New Deal, where, you know, if they ask you the question in the right way, hey, do you think tax dollars should go for you know, new energy,
renewable
formulating,
energy.
you know, ways of producing sustainable energy that doesn't have carbon emissions? You're like, yeah, I think that's what we should do. And it's like, oh, do you think we should re-articulate the economy and shut down all of the ways we do things currently, like heat homes, you know, or whatever, to you know, kickstart us into the next century or whatever? My problem with things like the Green New Deal is that you are circumventing the natural way that humanity solves problems, which is things like, you know, when we have something that we need to improve upon, we are forced to improve upon it.
Yeah, innovations.
Industrial revolution.
it is at the precipice that we change.
Yeah.
That's was that Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, I don't know on that one. What are the
It was one of the end of the world movies.
Constantine?
That wasn't
Oh.
Constantine. That's a good movie.
It's more of a spiritual one. But we have to there has to be a dire need for something. So if you look at if you try to stop us short on oil before there's a necessity for us to get independent of oil, we can't force ourselves to develop. And that's one of the reasons I think communism doesn't work, is because it's not a capitalist model where people are trying to produce the best thing at the right time for the right price.
Right.
Instead, you're trying to force something that isn't there yet, that isn't in place, and for whatever cost.
Right.
And you start with communism starts with the end result and then works backwards, where
Right.
we work towards an end result.
Yeah, we want everything to be on batteries. So we're just going to mandate all batteries in 10 years, no matter what. People don't want it.
Yeah.
It's not efficient. It freaking destroys the environment like crazy. Way worse than pulling oil out of the ground.
Yeah, we're going to use all these lithium mines.
The lithium mines are 10 times worse for the environment.
Yeah.
If these...
And all the people in the lithium mines that have to mine it, because guess what? They don't have, you know, people looking out for them. They don't have unions. And
no,
Well,
they're in China.
Yeah, they're dying.
Literally.
Yeah.
They're dying
at the
for your
same
electric
time,
car.
the recycling abilities of it is non-existent, and so what they do is they end up sending it overseas to places like China for people to deconstruct them.
Yeah.
And you know, try to use the different pieces for different things, but
They've got kids.
They're dying from the exposure to these caustic metals and chemicals and.
Yeah,
but that's way better than us having to use gas.
Yeah, well, we feel better when we're driving our electric car, you know?
So stupid.
Because we're saving the world in those shitholes, you know?
Well, here's another real simple analogy of why we need to be more thoughtful. Hey, I'm all for protecting the environment in general. Like, I want us to have a clean world in general, but like, let's actually look at science. Trust the science.
I do.
Trust the science, right? Well, is it good, for instance, all Toyota Priuses, which are the, you know, that's the virtue signaling, I care about the earth car.
Pre-I.
Pre. P-R-I-I. Pre. That's the
If I get really excited, I get some pre. Weak.
So careful, you can still get pregnant with that. So anyway, so the Prius that come over, they come over on a giant cargo ship. Well, the amount of fuel it takes to ship 500 over on a cargo ship negates, and then some, all of the excellent fuel mileage you get in your hybrid car.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, I'm getting 50 miles a gallon. I care about the environment. Thanks. You know, the South Park episode, like, look at me. I drive such a green car. You know,
Sniffing your own farts.
Sniffing your own farts. But what you're not thinking about, because you don't care about the real science, you just care about looking good. The real science is that you're hurting the earth by driving a Prius, because it took so much energy to ship them over here, more than you will ever save in fuel.
So
So if you want to actually get green, like, we need to make things locally, and we need to make things that don't create lithium mines, and things like that, and
well, and they're talking about, I think they were saying something, they were comparing that to, like, you might as well drive a 1970 Lincoln or something.
Right.
Like that is, as if you take literally the numbers of the amount of fuel, the amount of carbon produced, the amount of, like, waste product, all that stuff, it's less economically, and actually Top Gear did I don't know if you're a big fan of the British Top Gear.
I've seen it a few times.
It's one of the best shows out there. They're very it started in, like, around 2000 or so there wasn't all this, like, woke everything, but they got to a point where the Prius was, like, the hot thing. So what they did was they took a BMW M3 and they took a Prius and they made the Prius perform laps of the track, and then they had the BMW M3 follow it, as fast as it could go. So if you drive a Prius as fast as you can, a BMW M3, their hot sedan, is better economy.
Wow.
Going and handles better and is, more luxurious and all those things. So
this is why I actually put windmills on top of my truck.
That makes sense. You turn
as
it
I'm driving, it creates it's actually, what do you call those? The perpetual. It's actually, I have a perpetual motion truck.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I've developed it, and it's pretty good. So
yeah, well, I think we've come across it, but batteries. I think batteries are really the issue, that we have not gotten to the point where the battery technology is good enough yet.
No.
Right.
And that's really what I think stops us is things like the wind turbine, and then the solar panels are they're pretty good at producing electricity.
Right.
It's just, if you can't,
we don't have a way to store it.
Right. And then so imagine with the windmills creating these giant windmill farms. I mean, the battery storage facilities. I mean, imagine creating 50 batteries, each of which is the size of a school bus, right? And that's basically what you have to store even just a little energy from these windmills. For
the charger would be
for
huge.
Like Texas, for instance. So you've created 50 batteries the size of school buses, or however big they are, and then in 15 years you got to replace them. How much damage is that doing to the earth?
Yeah,
it's like, or we can suck some oil out from deep down, and create a very small footprint, and send it down a pipeline, and not create giant lithium mines all over the planet.
Yeah.
And then not have to replace batteries every 15 years, and not have to create new lithium mines. And, we've got hundreds of years worth of oil that we know we have, and now we can't use it. That's silly.
Yeah, but I mean, think of the population of those third world countries. They're going to explode if we're not killing all those people in mines.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Gotta keep them down,
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying it's just for the best. Well, and there's something, have you heard of solid state batteries? So they have solid state hard drives.
Right. That's what my mind went to.
Yes. And so solid state batteries are actually similar. So right now they have, I think it's like copper or lithium and nickel. And, you've got like these two electrodes or whatever in an acid bath, So like when you've got your car battery, you have to put the distilled water in it.
Yeah.
To like re-up that acid. Right. So if the acid level's too strong or too weak, it just doesn't work as well. And it all has to do with the flow of ions between the positive and the negative terminals. So what the solid state battery does is basically it no longer has any of the acid in it. And so it basically can put those electrodes kind of closer together with like little buffers between them. And then it charges faster, it holds more energy. It basically all of the characteristics about it are improved. So it's kind of the next step. And I guess Tesla is really into it. Samsung is really into it. And I feel like maybe it's Panasonic or something, but this is kind of the next revolution. And what it's going to do is really dramatically affect electric vehicles because you're going to be able to have, I think, basically the size of a laptop. I think they can put like 8 of those into basically the floor deck of your
Mhm.
Tesla, or actually Toyota's going really deep into it. I guess like in the next 5 years they're going to have this crazy, on par with where Tesla's going. But I think they were saying like 500 miles, and then you'd be able to recharge your battery almost fully in the same amount of time it takes to
Pump your
gas up.
gas. That'd be sweet.
Wow, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
So that's one of the big holdups is,
Mhm.
can't be driving for a few hours and then have to recharge for 5 hours.
And Tesla has the supercharger, which is something that you can buy, and I guess it allows you, and it's especially good in like California where there's a lot of Teslas. But you can basically go and it's like a high capacity charge very quickly. So you get like an 80% charge, kind of like your iPhone does. They came out with
Yeah.
that a little while back.
Having a supercharger on a car used to mean something very different.
Yes, and now it's just a little thing that you buy and
Huh.
you can give it to the next guy.
So
Card you run.
Steph says ordering a toothbrush on Amazon unleashes a fossil fuel shitstorm. That should be outlawed. Small purchases daily. We are doomed as a species. I replied that I don't know that more regulation is actually the answer. At least not in the not amongst the civilians. I mean,
Yeah.
and then she also said, where was it? She said Arizona can create people in Arizona can create electricity with their solar panels and sell it to the utility company. If they have a surplus, they make money.
Yeah.
So
Which-
small factoid for Sarah,
Mhm.
just so you don't think humanity's too doomed too
This
fast.
is Steph.
Or Steph,
Mhm.
is Mount St. Helens in 1980 when it exploded. It put out a quarter mile by a quarter mile of, lava,
Oh, okay.
and but the carbon that came out of Mount St. Helens, the
Mhm.
carbon emissions were more than all of human history all put together, and by multiple folds.
Okay.
So Mount St. Helens put out more emissions than all of human history.
hmm
Obviously, most of which would be in the last couple hundred years, right?
Yeah.
But still, so that's one very, very small volcanic explosion.
Yeah.
And it did more than, and we're still here,
Was Mount St. Helens capitalist though? Because
Right.
that's what I would believe. That's what I would
Right.
assume.
Um,
It'd be capitalism. that
obviously,
caused
because it
that.
was evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Well, and that's kind of
And
that's very interesting because then we've had other explosions like the one in Norway or wherever that was that downed all the planes for all that
Right.
time.
You know what? This
Pompeii,
is
you remember
actually-
that?
I think we're onto something. There's a global warming problem. Mount St. Helens, I mean, that cooled the earth a little bit. I mean,
Okay.
I think we should maybe tap into making volcanoes explode. We could reverse this whole global warming thing.
We should put a nuclear bomb into a fusion bomb into.
See?
the
It could
the
work.
Earth's core.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually was doing some research on energy as well, and I think it was the wind turbines, the windmills.
Mhm.
When they have the fields of the windmills, there's actually a significant raise in temperature in that area. I think it might even be by a degree, whereas it's significantly more than global warming.
I wonder what that is.
Well,
I think it had to do with. It had to do with the mixing of the air, and so what it's doing is it's creating air, it's pulling air down and pushing air up, and it's
Oh.
warming the surface. They were also saying that when you have these giant fields of them, what happens is you have big shadows cast,
Mhm.
and when the shadows are cast, it actually kills some of the wind, and so for whatever reason, I guess. I don't, if you think about it, like for instance, it's less windy at night usually, unless you have a windstorm, and so it can create less wind for other windmills that are further down.
So you want to be on that lead windmill?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Fuck yeah. That's why I always buy lead windmills, wind turbines. Well, and it's interesting because there's they also kill a lot of birds, And people are like, oh, cats kill lots of birds and stuff, but those things kill a lot of like fucking
Big
eagles
birds.
and hawks
Yeah.
and birds of
Bats
prey.
too.
Yeah.
Bats too.
Yeah, but I mean,
And solar fields do the same, and those cause a lot of damage. And
you've got to move all the tortoises out of the solar fields.
Yep.
I never knew that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And did they? I don't remember why they have to. Is it because it gets so hot?
oh, it's insanely hot. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're absorbing. They're giant black
Mm-hmm.
deals. They're
Glass.
giant black pieces of glass summoning a crap ton of heat.
Mm-hmm.
They have the largest. Here's a factoid: largest solar panel field on the planet is outside of Las Vegas
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
in Nevada. It's 4,000 acres of solar panels. Would not run the New York City subway.
Hmm.
So just extrapolate that out for running the whole country.
Yeah.
You won't even be able to see a field. I mean, this whole freaking country would be solar panels just to try to run stuff.
From
that would
sea to shining sea.
how much environment would that destroy?
Can we
Yeah.
just cover the ocean? Just
Like if
throw a bunch of rafts out there?
if you care about the environment, you should be against solar panel fields and against windmills because those are causing more damage and consuming more energy than just sucking some oil out of the ground. But I mean, I
Well-
think we should be working on other stuff. Like we should work on a revolutionary. We should work
Mm-hmm.
on cold fusion. We should work on turning ocean water into a fuel.
Well, what we really
But-
should be doing is putting more money into nuclear power.
Mhm.
I mean, it is
It's pronounced nuclear.
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 Ever since that Simpsons
I know.
episode, I'm always apprehensive.
Look at the
Yeah. New.
look at the foliage on the
Nuclear.
trees.
Yeah.
Let's go
Yeah.
to the library.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Roma, I interrupted.
Nuclear.
I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I was going to say that it is cost effective. It has an extremely small footprint, and
It's 100% clean.
it's 100% clean. And they were saying that the amount of waste that you would use per person in a lifetime is about the same size as a soda can.
There's a lot to nuclear. I think part of the problem with it is it has had a couple bad, runs.
I mean,
3 of
so
them, really.
what if, entire, state-sized regions are uninhabitable for the next million years?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, so obviously Chernobyl would be the biggest one. And so what Chernobyl was a Soviet nuclear station. I think it was in 1984, I believe. And what you have is the uranium. The uranium decays and creates heat and energy. Basically, you create uranium 235, I think it is, and as it decays, what you try to do is take that heat that is created and produce steam, which then turns turbines,
Right.
much like a hydrostatic dam,
Correct.
or hydroelectric dam, and and so you're constantly trying to cool it off to keep it from overheating and melting down.
Right.
So what they do is they have these boron rods that they dip in with between to cool the thing off. Anyways, they were running some kind of a power test, and they had this huge, surge in power, which killed the diesel engine, the diesel generator that cooled when the power went out. So then what you had was a bunch of uranium melting down with no cooling going on.
Sounds bad.
Yeah, so it was bad. What ended up happening was, I think it was a 4 million pound or something, 4 million ton, I don't know, some huge piece of metal or concrete or something ended up getting launched off the top of it, just popped right off. The whole thing melted down, and the core ended up melting in. It just eats through, when you're, I don't know. It's a very interesting process if you ever look into what an actual nuclear reaction is.
How do you say nuclear? Is it nuclear?
Nuclear.
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 Yeah.
Because everybody's up in arms in the chat, and I think they're all trying to make me feel like an idiot.
No, you said it right, Roma.
I did say it right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. The way
Yeah,
Homer said it was
Nuclear.
nuclear. It's
Nucle-
nuclear.
Nuclear.
It doesn't
Nuclear.
take a nuclear
Yeah.
scientist to know how to pronounce foliage.
Yeah.
That was the line.
So that was the thing is he was, had this great job as a, technician or whatever. And he said nuclear.
So what are they saying on the chat there, Roma?
I don't know, and I don't remember how I said it, so it's
You said it right the first time.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, guys, calm
Yeah.
down.
What are some other words that get mispronounced?
Mm,
Oh, for all intents and purposes. Lots of people say for all intensive purposes.
irregardless.
Irregardless, not a
Yeah,
word.
That's just more used wrong, but
so dumb.
regardless, irregardless.
Well, one of my pet peeves is oh shit, it just fell out of my mind. Oh,
It really did fall out of your mind.
yeah, it really did. I
Sorry.
keep it's right there. It's like floating right outside my brain.
Library.
No, it's a
February.
I couldn't I could care less.
Oh,
Doesn't make any sense.
right.
It's I couldn't care less because
right.
if
that
you
means
could
max,
care
that's the least amount of care
if
you
you
can do.
could care less, then there's less cares that you could give.
Well, I could
Right.
care less about puppies.
I could also care less about puppies.
See?
I could care.
So,
I care a lot.
Roma-
I care a lot about puppies, and
Mhm.
so I could definitely care less.
Yeah.
I wouldn't ever care less about them.
Yeah.
Because I love
nor
them.
would I. How dare you even think about that? Caring less about puppies.
Mhm.
Are you guys aware of what the demon core is?
No, I've never heard of that.
Demon core is cool. Okay. Let me tell you a story.
Okay, Dad.
So when back in World War II, we had the two nuclear bombs, the atomic bombs. They were fission bombs. So in a fission bomb, what happens is basically you have this, they produce I think it's like the size of a softball, maybe going on a bowling ball-ish size of I don't know if it's uranium or plutonium, but they bring it to something that's so there's critical mass and then there's like subcritical mass. So what critical mass is when you contain it into you get it up to a certain mass, a certain size, and then you contain it within a like reflective environment because you can't get it much bigger than it is or it starts to break down. So like only physically, because we're creating this radioactive substance that it doesn't want to stay together, and that's why it's so volatile, right? And can be a bomb or produce energy. So little boy and fat man
Oh, I have heard of that.
were the two bombs that we dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Oh, right. Okay.
They were two different types. They used a couple different ways. One way is they put that subcritical mass, lump, and then they put explosives in there and they close it off so that when those explosives go off, the pressure creates critical mass. So all of the radiation, all of the neutrons start firing off and they just set each other off. And then you get this huge explosion. Then there's another way that they do it. I can't remember exactly the way that is done. So they set off those two bombs. They work. There was supposed to be a third one, but Japan surrendered before that one was used.
Ooh.
So we have this core. And we give that core to
Vladimir Putin.
negative. That would be not good.
North Korea.
No. The Los Alamos labs, the ones that,
Like,
what's his name? Bob Lazar.
remember the Los Alamos?
No. Bob Lazar. The alien,
Oh, yeah.
alien guy. So, those same labs that were doing all the testing on, that he claimed were
On
doing all
aliens.
the alien testing, was testing this thing that wasn't called a demon core yet. So a scientist was taking this core and he was sticking tungsten bricks around it. And what would happen is they'd have like a Geiger meter, and if you left the one side open, all the radiation would shoot out there. So you'd be measuring like how much radiation is coming out. And so he's like stacking up these bricks, and he accidentally drops a brick onto the core, and it sends out a super high, like a blue light throughout the room. It ended up his hand. He started Roma, look up demon core, and then there should be a picture of a guy's hand. And it was basically what the hand he used to reach and pull the brick away. And what happened was he ended up dying, I think, about 30 days later.
Radiation poisoning?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he had this big cancerous hand.
Where is this cancer's hand?
Well, there's a hand right there.
Right there?
Bottom left.
No.
This one?
What of the guy at the hospital?
It looks normal to me.
That looks like a fairly normal.
Oh,
hand.
here.
The left hand, yeah.
Holy
Oh.
crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad.
I don't know if that's the one. There was one with the guy, and he had like a big tumor on it.
And I don't, you know.
Yeah. And so, anyways, the first guy dies. So the second guy
Gets a huge dick,
well, like 30 days later, yeah, he's trying to fuck it, right?
right? He becomes a porn star.
So the second guy's working on it, and I think it was a very short time later. I think it was like 30 days later. I think they just buried the other guy. What this guy did was he put it inside of basically like two soup bowls. So he had the one bowl that was holding the demon core, and then he had the other one. And what he would do is he would use a flathead screwdriver to like just barely open and close the or like use his hand to like bring it down to basically critical mass
Uh-huh.
and then pull it away. So there was a bunch of guys in the room. Oh, there he is with the screwdriver. See that
That's
little
him?
screwdriver?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what he was doing. Highly dangerous. So at a certain point, I guess the screwdriver slips and the room is full of like 8 guys, right? So the thing goes down, blue light. We're all fucked. So the guy says, "Hey, everybody get back in here." He says, "Well, we're all dead. Where were you standing? Because we'll be able to tell how long you have." Was basically it. He's like, "I was right next to it, so I'm done." And,
Is that his hand?
yes. Yep.
Oh boy.
I don't know why it was so hard to find that picture.
Yep. So, and that was after like 30 days or something.
That's gotta hurt like a bitch.
Yeah. And so what happens when you get hit with radiation? So radiation just penetrates almost everything. There's different types of radiation. There's alpha wave, I think it's alpha waves or alpha particles, beta, gamma rays, X-rays. And so you can experiment with alpha and beta, but they'll start to make you sick because it'll actually like go into your, like penetrate your
Mhm.
like alpha particles won't penetrate your clothes or anything.
Hmm.
So they're like super weak, but it'll hit you through your DNA and rupture your DNA, which is why they use radiation to treat cancers, is because cancers replicate so quickly that if you're shooting a bunch of radiation in there during the mitosis, when the DNA is like reproducing itself, you hit it with radiation and it will die rather than reproduce. So you're not really killing enough of your good cells, just that quickly reproducing cancer, that you hit it at just the right times.
Huh.
So that's how that works, and that's, I guess, sort of what that did, but it, produced cancer by killing too many cells. I don't know.
I am blown away at the lack of regulation surrounding one of the most dangerous items on the planet. How are we going to do this, Bill? I don't know. Throw some bricks around it, I guess.
Tinfoil and bricks.
Maybe poke it with a screwdriver. What do you think?
Yeah.
We'll just poke it.
Play bocce ball with it.
Yeah,
Well,
we'll just,
Yeah,
Anyone got a cricket bat? Like what? You know.
exactly. How far do you think I could hit this? Yeah, a bit of
Bill,
tee off.
Hey, can we hit it? I want to hit it with a fly swatter and then a dildo. I just want to see what happens. You know?
I made a uranium butt plug.
Hey, honey. I got something to try.
According to the World Nuclear Association, France derives about 70% of its electricity from nuclear energy.
Mhm.
Due to a longstanding policy based on energy security, government policy is to reduce this to 50% by 2035. But let's see here. I
Yeah.
know that it was saying that they make so much energy. They're the biggest exporter
Yeah, they sell it.
in the world.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Well, yeah, and again, nuclear energy, cleanest energy on the planet,
Mhm.
and it's all the steam you see coming out. That's just steam. It's just
Mhm.
literally just water.
Fresh water, yeah.
Yeah, it's just water coming out the top. It's not hurting anything.
That's
And-
the steam that's used to turn the turbines, and then there's a cooling system also that cools
They used to run
the
trains.
reactor.
Trains were steam engines,
Mhm.
right? It's the same. It's just nuclear reactors are a giant steam engine. That's what it is.
Yeah.
They're not just trying to cool. They're using the steam to turn,
Mhm.
turbines or whatever to create the energy. That's what they're doing. It's a giant steam engine.
And they still use a little bit
Is
of
my
fossil
understanding.
fuel for that battery, for that diesel backup,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to have the backup or else, different
Yeah.
things can happen. But also then the other one was, so there's 3 Mile Island. I don't know much about that one.
I know
but
the island's about
Fukushima,
3 miles long.
That's probably about right. Yeah.
That's the extent of my understanding.
Yeah. You have to stay 3 miles away from it now that it melted down.
Yeah.
Um,
Actually, that probably is not far.
Yeah. So, Chernobyl was this horrible thing. They've, in the Ukraine, I believe. But Fukushima was the most recent one. So if you're a big Alex Jones fan, you probably bought some iodine to save your thyroid from
I've been stocking up.
Potassium iodide or whatever.
Yeah, and it keeps you from getting goiters and from getting that's why they iodize salt. But apparently it also protects your thyroid, which is sensitive to radiation.
That would be the main and first thing that would kill you from radiation exposure. And the potassium
Maybe.
iodide keeps those safe.
Okay, yeah.
To a degree.
And I believe back the military, so back in World War II was kind of the ionizing radiation era, so like what was it? Vietnam was Agent Orange. Like there's certain things that are known to be bad for soldiers, or like to be the bad thing of the time.
Right. Or the little known
Exposure.
Agent Apple.
Yes. The
Steph
that
said
was
they made a movie about 3 Mile Island called The China Syndrome.
oh, interesting. I feel like I've read that or seen it or something. Apparently not. Apparently I didn't recall.
There's also a movie with the same title, but it's about Joe Biden's business dealings.
Big Trouble in Little China. Big Man.
And then it's the
Little.
second one is Hunter Biden lost in China, like
yeah.
lost in New York.
Yeah, it's pretty good. They took Trump out of that one though.
Yeah. They did.
So Roma loves a good Macaulay Culkin joke.
Sorry.
Roma loves
It wasn't that funny, but
good communism rewriting history joke. So Fukushima was I believe it was an earthquake that caused a tsunami that killed the power and somehow it melted down or something. Basically, I think it was like falling into the ocean and crap. One of the coolest things about that was all of the, because it was this horrible tragedy and lots of radiation. Japan had never seen anything like it. Get it?
That's racist.
They sent the old people in to clean up the radiation. And
Was
but
this run by Cuomo?
it's yeah. All right, Roma.
That was a
All
good one.
right.
That was the best joke. In it.
That was good, Roma.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Joke of the show. Killing people in nursing homes, always funny. But actually it was more of an honor thing because they, the older generation, and this was just like 2008 or something that this happened. It wasn't all that long ago, but they felt that it was their duty to go in to like clean up, rescue, do whatever they could because, hey, they're, getting on in years. They don't have that much time left.
I mean, why don't we send old people to war then?
I mean,
Like, and probably
yeah.
because it'd be like nap time.
they're
They'd
too
be like-
rich and white, They
Like
don't
some
fight wars.
battle would start, but they'd be like, "It's time for Tucker Carlson. I need to."
Yeah, you'd have these very predictable outcomes,
Yeah.
Early dinners, that's nice.
Yeah.
Nice 4:30 pot roast.
Give them a little early bird buffet, and
Yeah.
then send them off for
They like
wartime.
they like their eggs, a little syrup on them.
Mhm.
I don't know what
I don't know what they like either.
I'm sure they like white gravy.
Cinnamon toast with butter, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, I was talking to somebody. We're gonna get serious now, people. I was talking to someone about bath balls.
Bombs.
Balls. And they were telling me about hot chocolate bombs.
Yes, to make hot chocolate.
And you've never brought this up in the show, Ro?
I didn't
You
know
just-
I was supposed to.
Are
I
you
never.
telling me there's hot chocolate bombs now?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
So they're like bath bombs, but they're balls of chocolate. I don't know how they work. I've never used one.
Mhm.
And you put them in a pot with milk or something,
Mhm.
and it cooks down into hot chocolate.
This sounds outstanding.
Yeah, and they have different varieties. So they have like, milk chocolate, caramel, s'mores, all that stuff. Anyways, I've never seen one. They're legendary. Mythical to me.
I've seen them. Somebody brought them into work one time.
Well, I mean, here's our work.
There's still a couple left, but it's been since Christmas, so I assume they're probably not very good.
You give me those goddamn bath balls.
Chocolate bath balls.
Yep. So I'm wondering what else we can make. Like we've got to catch this train. People are making millions of dollars out there with these bath balls.
Viagra balls.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, I guess that works.
Best selling medication of all time. Let's do something.
That's true. We could put like cocaine, Viagra,
Yeah.
and well, here's what maybe we could combine all
This
these.
will just
We
be
could-
like a party ball. Like
we-
just fucking put
Yeah,
it in everyone's
glitter.
drinks.
Glitter. Viagra,
Yeah.
ecstasy, glitter.
This is really selling with the gentlemen who aren't married. They're gay.
Hey, gay people need love too.
I know a lot. Apparently, they have a lot of income, spendable income. Good people. I was thinking mashed potato ball or bomb, and then you could do like mashed potatoes. You could do like a white gravy or a brown gravy, and then it would just bloom for you.
Yeah, you could do some type of outer shell, and you
Mhm.
put instant mashed potatoes and instant gravy inside.
Roma, don't give away the recipe.
Oh, sorry.
Some people. Yeah. You just put it in a sausage water. Right?
Did you just say put it in sausage water?
Well, you just got your pot of sausage water on the stove
Who
like
the
usual.
hell has a pot of? What in the world?
How do you extract your vitamins? Like sage and pork.
Throw a little cabbage in there.
Why not?
I've heard, that's probably what it smells like when you have a child in a hot tub. Just sausage water. Just
No, that's what I put in my Nalgene bottle when I go for my hikes. Just some nice
Sausage
refreshing
water.
Yeah.
sausage water. Yeah.
That's okay. Didn't you just buy canned bacon grease, Steve?
I did, and you know what? It was terrible.
Oh,
I didn't do.
I would not have expected that.
I mean, I guess technically it tasted kind of like bacon grease, but
I've got a full jar. Actually, it's a mug. I'm sorry, I lied.
Of bacon grease
Yeah.
from actual bacon.
Yes.
This was rendered. I don't know what the difference is,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't like it.
Steph says, think hollow Easter eggs that are filled with marshmallows.
Hollow Easter eggs that are filled with marshmallows.
I think that's what the hot chocolate bombs are like.
Interesting. Okay.
What if we made the vaccines this enjoyable, everyone would want the Pfizer vaccine,
I would say that is probably true. They
Like,
are coming out with a
Here's
single
our
dose vaccine.
here's your hot chocolate COVID vaccine.
Yeah.
Everyone would be like, yeah.
It's got Viagra and cocaine and glitter in it.
Yeah. Whoops, got the wrong one.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
Dan says, sausage water details. Ask the Germans.
I don't get it.
It really keeps you young. You wash your face in it in the morning while it's heating
Ladies
up.
love it.
That's right. Put a little behind your ears.
Yep. Those little sausage pheromones are pretty hot stuff from what I understand.
Suck on these sausage fingers.
Ugh.
What? I meant from the sausage water. God. No, you just like, hey, taste it today. It's the same batch as yesterday and the day before. Just keep rendering it. It's never ending. It's perpetual energy.
It's like sourdough, batches of sourdough.
And it's almost like a battery too.
Yeah.
You put a copper lead in there, and you put a nickel.
You could probably light your whole house with a pot of sausage water.
Yeah, well, you take the leads and then you have a lemon with a digital readout. It just says lemon. I don't know.
All right.
I mean, I think we've covered a lot of ground.
Well, that's the end of the show.
Yeah, exactly. I can't go anywhere from here. Actually, I can go places from here. You want to learn something?
This all started with Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah, can we get back to that, please?
I mean, we were at sausage and
Yeah.
mashed potatoes. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Did you know that now Mr. Potato Head's male genitalia is both genitalia? Because a penis doesn't define me.
Right.
Not by a long shot.
I mean, is that because you have ED or?
Yeah. It comes and goes, though, depending on the bath bomb.
No pun intended.
Yeah. No, sometimes you don't feel as pretty as you did.
Right.
You know what I was always wondering? Is how the Mr. Potato Head accessories had the little pegs on them? So, like, you'd stick the peg
Yeah.
because he just had a hole for a nose, kind of like the guy who got attacked by the chimps.
Yes.
You think anybody's ever put that right down their pee hole? Like a type of sounding?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
At least one.
It would have to be pretty funny, too. Like, if you put the mouth on there.
Mhm.
Steve, how do you know about sounding?
We do the eyeballs.
I mean, yeah, the eyeballs.
Roma, do you know what sounding is?
Isn't that when you put like the electrical thing in your urethra?
It can be electrified.
Yeah, but not
usually.
Not usually.
Yeah.
Usually it's just like a metal rod or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
And there's also formicophilia, which is where you put some type of
Formica
worm.
tables in there.
Yes, formica, yeah, tabletops.
So tell me, Steve, what is your favorite thing to do sounding with?
I did hear about a wire hanger someone did once.
Oh.
And it was on a developmentally disabled gentleman, and one of my friend's jobs was to keep things out of his penis.
Wow.
Yeah, and he would just be like going at it and like with like if you left a screwdriver or whatever around.
Oh. God damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's rough.
That's okay. I had somebody told me recently. So someone I know's, I don't know if it's a sister or a friend or somebody, is a nurse at an emergency room.
Mm-hmm.
And this girl came in with a board hammered to her arm. She had taken a nail and hammered it all the way through into a board. Apparently she had been a pretty severe cutter.
Wow.
And had lost so much feeling. So I guess if you continue to do it, you kind of lose feeling because you're
dead on the inside.
kind of, yeah, exactly. And had hammered her arm to a board and had to go into the hospital to get it
Yeah.
taken off.
That is that's pretty legit.
You would think that you could potentially do a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm. There are people that are very, very just masochistic, just
Ugh.
hurt themselves a lot. And one of the things is it looks so terrible too because they just have so many scars all
Mhm.
over them. And I'm sure their local emergency room just is like, ugh, when
Here's my question: how does that? The ice guy that swims in
Mr.
freaking
Freeze,
no,
all
not
right,
not Arnold Schwarzenegger from
everybody
1994.
chill.
Everybody chill. Yeah. No, the guy that I think they call him the Iceman or something like that, but he's got all kinds of world records for he'll dive under the ice and like swim underneath the ice, and he's like sat in a tub of ice for hours and hours or like 30
David
hours.
Blaine?
No.
I mean, something he would do.
No, this is an older guy, and I think he's Russian or something like that. Maybe you
Houdini.
can find it.
Yeah.
But anyways, so this guy sits in ice water for hours and hours and hours. This is like he goes around the world to you can do whatever you want, mind over matter.
He's probably Norwegian.
I don't know.
It's crazy Nords.
But how do you get your body to defy all
Mhm.
physics like that? How do you not succumb to He's never gotten hypothermia,
Yeah.
and he'll sit in. He will go dive under, into water where it's 2 thick feet of ice, and he'll
Mhm.
dive down and he'll swim 100 yards that way, holding his breath, and then come up through another hole and.
How heavy of a jacket is he wearing? Is he wearing one of those?
Probably wearing fleece.
Yeah.
It's pretty warm.
Wool.
Wool. Yeah. Wool's warm even when it's wet.
I'm just saying that's pretty crazy.
So there are some theories about that you can train your body. They feel like there's a natural, predilection for those kinds of things. So people that are, Norwegian or, Finnish or Russian, Siberian, can handle cold better, like Polish, Ukrainian, just those kind of like tough BIPOC nations. Now, the other side of that is training yourself. And so the powerhouse of the cell is called the mitochondria. And there are people that believe that you can, through stress, you can evolve your mitochondria to produce higher levels of energy. And if you, part of the Treadstone project in the Jason Bourne movies was that this, therapy that they put you through where they put you on this like medication plus trained you to be a killer plus reprogrammed your mind plus did all these things. Part of that medication made your mitochondria 50% more efficient so that you had
Kind of like stripper thighs. Like when you first start learning how to dance on a pole, like you're bruised from head to toe, but then like after a while you don't get bruises anymore.
I know that's been my experience with pole dancing
Mm-hmm.
yeah mm-hmm.
for sure.
Yep. I mean, I couldn't grip a pole with my butt cheeks and lean all the way over.
Right.
Legs completely off the ground like a Superman pose. Reach for those dollars.
Yeah, but
Spin.
you could train yourself to do it. Turning your butt cheeks.
Easily. Yeah. Grip her like a chimp's paw. Yeah, so I bet you it is a combination of, natural ability and then probably secondly is doing it over and over and over again. Just like with the SEALs, they train those guys to I mean, I'm sure many of them come in there not nearly as good as when they, leave the training and all that stuff. So it's got to be
Jason Bourne or John Wick.
Ooh, I never made that. I'm gonna have to go with John Wick. The reason being is because he has a mission and he is aware of what it is and he knows why he is
Sure.
doing what he's doing. Jason Bourne is a little less clear on what's going on, especially like right in the beginning. He's like, what? How do I know how to do this? And
Yeah.
and
What is the
yeah, and then it turns kind of into a vengeance,
Right.
kind of, hey, leave me alone. Or
who's my father? I'm very upset at you.
yeah, and and so that's kind of and I even read part of I started reading the Board Identity. It is the shittiest book I ever read. It's like this half-assed. It was written in the 70s or something, and Jason Bourne is like a total pussy. It's all a love story. It's basically a love story spy novel. Just none of them done well.
That sounds super dumb.
It's not good.
Do you
Sorry, Robert L. Ludlum.
Do you remember when Liam Neeson made old guy Jason Bourne?
Taken?
No,
Oh,
different from that. What's
Taken 2.
No, it's not anything.
Electric
Taken's.
Boogaloo.
Look up Liam Neeson's filmography real quick. We're gonna find it. This movie is literally the exact
Mhm.
same premise.
Mhm.
He wakes up.
Ransom?
Ransom.
Was that the name of it? I feel like, okay.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know.
If you, yeah. You could even put, I can't read the screen from
Okay, hold on.
there, but put Liam Neeson, Jason Bourne, because people were like, this is the exact same movie.
The Gray?
No, that's actually a
Schindler's
good movie,
List?
though. Yes, Schindler's List.
I don't know who you are, and I don't know what you
Bourne.
Let's see.
Huh.
I've probably seen it. I'm just not a huge. I don't know. I do like Liam Neeson though. I think he's a good action sort of guy.
Unknown. I think
Okay.
it's unknown.
Yeah,
Click on unknown.
it sounds like it. Like
What's it
he's
say? What's the
2011 action thriller film directed by Julem Kulef Sarah, starring Liam Neeson.
I'm 90% sure it's unknown.
Mm-hmm.
So he freaking, he wakes up, has no idea that he's a freaking supercharged, killer,
Yeah,
trained by the government,
so I feel every day.
top secret, top secret, program to train killers and all this stuff.
Mhm.
He has a woman that he just met drive him through the city in a little car, just like
Okay.
Jason Bourne.
Does he pay her 10
It
grand?
says,
Yeah, that kind of thing.
after a serious car accident in Berlin,
Oh, Berlin.
Dr. Martin Harris awakes to find his world in utter chaos. His wife does not recognize him. Another man is using his identity, and mysterious assassins are hunting him. The authorities do not believe his claims and must go on the run alone. He must go on the run alone. With an unlikely ally, Martin leaps into a perplexing situation that will force him to discover how far he is willing to go for the truth. Does that sound like it?
Hey, is that it?
It sounds like it. He can't
close.
remember or something. He's
Dan,
gotta
where
go.
are you on this one?
Yeah, Dan.
Yeah, Dan.
I'm gonna
Jesus.
use
Super
my phone.
fan Dan asleep at the wheel.
I'm gonna use my phone.
No, I think it almost sounds like a Total Recall kind of thing, because Total Recall, you go in to have this vacation of a lifetime, but then they like put you under and you go to Mars, and then somehow your wife is trying to kill you and like all this, like basically like, wait, what was your life before and what was it after? And why you're a secret agent. So that's what it is. It's like you're a secret agent in this program that you set for yourself. So it's like, oh, you can go to Maui or you can be a secret agent on Mars. You're like, I'll take that with the 3-tit chick. Yeah, let's do it. My name is Quaid.
Liam Neeson. Dan says Liam Neeson getting together with comedians starting out in a comedy was amazing. You should check out the skit, guys. Okay, that's not what we asked, Dan.
Dan.
Yeah. Anyway, I think it is unknown, but it's the
Yeah.
exact, like the total big picture
Yeah.
summary of the movie is exactly the same. And anyways, it
It
was
takes place in
ridiculous.
Berlin.
Yeah.
I did like Jason Bourne's choice in weapons because he was a Sig Sauer kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Sig Sauer. Whereas John Wick is an H&K and a Glock
Yeah.
guy.
I like John Wick a lot. They're
Yes.
both great series for
Yes.
sure.
I just wish he'd use a Sig.
Well,
They're the type of gun you fall in love with. That's the way I feel. but Glocks are pretty universal. So
Is that what John Wick uses, a Glock?
he used a Glock 26, the little ones that he keeps on his back.
Oh, okay.
And then he has an H&K.
Is that the one? Did that one have a silencer or no?
I don't believe so. It's got the long slide.
Yeah.
And it's they're all 9mm, which I appreciate. He did use a 45 in the latest one, and he also used the KSG, Keltec KSG in the first
Yep,
one.
he sure did.
Which is pretty nice.
That's a cool one.
Steve too. He's kind of more of a Rambo guy.
Yeah, I'm a Rambo fan for sure.
I wish I would have brought the knife in. Oh, well, can't show that on the air. No, I just got this new camping knife, and it's new to me. I bought it used, but knives are one of those things that that hold their value, and if you get one that's been decently taken care of, you can get one that's a little.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't have to buy brand new.
Why pay $200 for a new knife when you can pay $190 for a used one?
Exactly. That smells like cigarettes.
Yeah.
It's the age-old question. But actually, what's funny is in this COVID, I've been feeling kind of pent up because, you just spend more time at home. A lot of the places that we would just normally go and just walk right into is like, they're either like half shut down or there's just
it's weird.
a different dynamic. People avoid you. Like I'll go for walks in my palatial mansion, and sometimes my maids will like kind of get out of the way, and I'm just like Lupe, I'll send you back to the lithium mines
every time. Every time.
Flick a cigarette at her. So, but I've been feeling the call of the wild, which I don't know if that means pooping or sex, but I want to go camping.
So you've been peeing in your front lawn area
Mm-hmm.
and playing
Go
with the
on. Yeah. Same time. Yep.
Our neighbor's been out there in his front yard. Freaking...
Got a knife and a penis. That's what I do to the neighbor.
It's the call of the wild.
Yeah. I want to go camping. Yeah. No, but I think I wonder if there's going to be a more of a push for people to actually get outdoors.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there already has. I know I've talked to people that say a lot of the hiking trails and stuff are really crowded right now because people have been stuck inside. And
Yeah.
so they're all going outdoors.
Yeah.
Well, can you believe that the government shut down state parks, camping areas? I mean, like, how ridiculous is that?
Is that true?
Oh, yeah, all over the country. Yeah,
Mhm.
all kinds of campgrounds all shut down because
Interesting.
COVID. And it's like, that's the safest place
Mhm.
anyone could possibly be.
That you could send
But
someone.
you don't want
Yeah.
the trees to get COVID. So
Well, I do think, what I saw the other day? So I was taking a walk outside of my mansion, and there was so there's like large or older houses. Sometimes they kind of split them up into apartments. So you'll just have like a, shared yard or whatever. And that's what this was. I think it was like 4
Like a
apartments.
fourplex or something.
Yeah, in one house. So the guy comes out as I'm like walking towards them, and it's just a really short fence, and he has a mask on and has his dog. So he put his COVID mask on to take the dog out to pee.
Are you kidding me?
No. And then he picks his dog up as I'm kind of like walking by within 12 feet or something, and I'm like, am I the reason does your dog have COVID? Like, what?
did he put a mask on the dog? I mean, Jesus.
Would have been nice. I would have felt better.
You never know.
Yeah, I was wearing 2-3.
There's been one confirmed case of COVID in a dog. I mean, that you never know.
We should put
And
all
that
the dogs
tiger.
down.
And a tiger and
Yeah.
a cat.
A tiger?
Yeah, he died.
Did the tiger die?
Yeah.
Whoa.
This was when it very first happened.
Oh. I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah.
It's probably an Indian doctor. Bengal. The Sea of Bengal.
That was racist.
What? It's a sea.
You're canceled.
You I should get that on a drop. You're canceled. That's where the Bengal tigers are from, Roma. I don't know if you're aware.
I wasn't.
They're the largest of the tigers,
Mhm.
other than the Siberian, of course.
Of course.
I don't know if that's true. I know the Bengal ones are big.
Do you think the tigers identify as Indian?
Um,
Or do they just identify as tigers?
I think they say Native American.
Oh, okay.
At least Tyson's tigers did.
Wait. Tyson, the chicken manufacturer or the boxer?
They fed the chicken, but it was the boxer that
Oh,
owned them.
Got it.
Yeah. Those tigers really love chicken. Mhm.
So Tyson the boxer had a tiger that he fed Tyson chicken to?
I think that's clear, Roma.
Oh,
I think we clear.
Sorry.
We're very
Obviously,
clear
if
on
Mike
that.
Tyson is buying chicken, he's obviously buying Tyson chicken.
You remember? Yeah, that's true. I don't know. There's Foster Farms. Pretty good. I don't know if you
That's
if you like your chicken.
That's why foster children buy foster farms.
That
I
is
don't know.
true. Yep, you feed that to your foster children. Do you remember the old guy from Tyson Chicken?
Yeah.
Was that the old guy?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The
Roma, look up the Tyson Chicken old guy.
okay.
Look it up.
Yeah, that was like 90s, I think. But yeah, he would be in the market and he would tell you about the chicken. He'd say like, "Hey, this chicken was named Rosita. She'll go well with some baby potatoes and
If you could flick your fingers and go back to the 90s,
So this guy?
yes, yep.
No, that's Purdue chickens.
Oh, Purdue. Okay, well, you know.
what is he a doctor? I recommend Purdue chicken. Just
Yeah.
like they used to recommend Marlboro.
It's true.
Kind of looks like
Overkill.
They
Ron
did.
Paul.
They used to
It's
spray
your
DDT.
T-zone.
They used to spray DDT on children.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they
They've
did.
got
And
films of them being in swimming pools.
Wasn't the DDT a wrestling move, Diamond Dallas Page? Didn't he used to DDT children?
it doesn't even make any sense.
I think it was called the DDT stunner. Maybe that was a Stone Cold stunner. Maybe Sting had a stunner.
I don't know.
Not Sting the rock star, Sting the guy who looked like he belonged in Kiss.
So if you could go back to if you could flick your fingers right now
Mhm.
and have no social media
Mhm.
and no smartphones, like maybe some kind of cell phone situation, but not smartphones, because everyone's walking around with their face glued to their damn phone all day.
Mhm.
If you could flick your fingers, and it's still modern day, and we have all the other technologies, but not social media and not smartphones, would you make that switch, or would you keep that social media and smartphones around?
Nope, I'd make the switch.
Go back to a simpler time. is the
Yep,
question.
Do
absolutely.
we still have podcasts?
Well, you have normal internet, but people would have to sit on their computers or TVs to watch it.
No, I would absolutely. I wouldn't even hesitate.
What about where are we at on hydrogenated oils versus beef tallow?
You can have hydrogen beef tallonated soybean
It's all beef
oils.
tallow or nothing. That's my
You can have your beef tallow. I don't even know what that means.
Okay, do we have well, in the 90s McDonald's and KFC switched from the like animal fats
Mm-hmm.
to the hydrogenated soybean and corn oil and all that
Yeah.
stuff because of the, American Heart Association and the acts of Congress and all that stuff.
Right.
So now everybody has diabetes and cancer
Right.
rather
Right.
than the half the rate of heart attacks that we have now.
I have a lot of problems with fast food and processed food and cancer that it causes.
Okay.
But this question is about technology and social media.
Well, I don't feel like you can unravel them
They are
forever.
eternally linked.
Exactly.
Hydrogenated oils and technology. But we're capping it off at regular Nintendo, 8-bit.
Mhm.
Okay, not Super Nintendo. That's getting way too fancy.
Mhm.
So you have Atari, you have regular Nintendo,
Mhm.
and maybe some like the Saved by the Bell cell phone. That's it.
Hmm.
And then everything else. I mean, you can have a nice
Did
TV
Saved
now.
by the Bell have a cell phone?
Yeah, he had. Oh, they made a
Mhm.
big deal out of it.
Oh.
Just ask your viewers. Of the
Dan.
yeah, Dan. Did
Actually, Sarah would probably know this one.
yeah, I don't know. He totally made a big deal out of it in the show.
Well,
So, but it was a brick. It was the brick. It was the one that was literally the size of a brick. It was this big.
yeah.
Just
I don't-
answer the damn question, Steve.
Yeah,
I have questions. Okay,
Steve,
this isn't an
Well, we're at
would
the
you or
interrogation.
would you not flip the
We're
switch?
at the end of the show, so
Well, then we should have
We have-
gone down this road earlier. I guess we'll have to do this.
You have
next time.
7 minutes to come up with one answer.
Okay. I don't like the access to pornography, so that would be in weighing on the side of
get rid of it.
yeah, get rid of it. I also don't like that a cat will take a shit in your VHS tapes full of pornography. So,
Right.
it is nicer to not have cat shit on your porn.
But back then, you really had to earn your porn. You had to rewind that shit
Yeah,
before you
yeah,
could play it again.
totally.
Go ahead.
Makes a
Mr.
lot of
Steve.
noise.
Okay.
When you steal it from your uncle, you have to rewind it back to the same exact spot because you think he'd know, but he's a little slow. I feel like our podcast would suffer because there's not as much listenership if we can't get people in front of the devices. And I feel like, honestly, I wouldn't see as many horrific videos that I get to see all the time because no one has a cell phone to videotape them.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, think of all the police brutality that would go on. You want that to go on?
I like
I don't think that's what this show is about.
give me the deed. I will sign the papers right now. We will go back to the 90s
Yeah.
internet, pre-smartphone.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really tough question.
I think people were more connected to each other. I think
Life was way better.
People were living a lot more, and now people have their face stuffed in a gadget.
When
all
everybody's
day.
angry. Everybody's angry and up in arms all the time.
What about
Oh yeah,
Grindr?
you know what? Just to get rid of the fucking cancel culture alone,
Yeah.
I will go back to the 90s when you could disagree with people, but we all understood we were in it together,
Mhm.
and you could have discussions and you could disagree, but we were all,
Yeah.
And people, this whole cancel culture and all this bull crap just wasn't. It just was different.
Could I invest in Bitcoin early on?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, then I'll just invent social
Well,
media.
actually, so
and
technically,
dating apps.
my question wasn't would you go back in time to the 90s? It was if you could make now 2021,
hmm
except that without smartphones
Mhm.
and without what was the other thing I said?
Social
Internet.
media.
And social
Oh,
media.
social media. Yeah.
So like it's more like today. It's
Yeah.
more, like you could have all this cool, you could have this laptop, you could have,
Yeah.
but like social media doesn't exist. There's no Facebook, no Twitter, and
I
there's no
think-
cell phones.
Okay. I think I would do it for social media, but I don't think I would do it altogether because I just feel like there's a lot of good that can, like one-way transmission of ideas, like people watching this show right now. I mean, obviously they can chat, but learning and like Joe Rogan and like all these things where you get to broaden your mind. I used to read the freaking encyclopedia. I don't want to go back to
Mhm.
that. I want to be able to surf some, figure stuff out. I want to be able to go, what was
I
that
mean,
Liam
you can
Neeson?
still there's still internet,
Yeah.
but there's no social media
Yeah.
and no smartphones that people have their
Yeah.
face stuffed in all the time.
Let's
So you
do
can
it.
still
I'm in.
still do Google, you can still Google, you can even have pretty quick
I
internet.
mean, we can get rid of Google.
Well, yeah. Let's,
can
let's go with
DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo. Yeah.
Ask
Can I
Jeeves.
get DuckDuckGo on a mobile device?
Ask Jeeves. I remember that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
What
But yeah,
happened to that?
it's a tough one. I
It's not tough.
have to say no, just because I want to see what
So
happens.
so if you were in charge of that decision for the whole world,
Mhm.
where you could in 2021
fascist.
everything else is modern, but like
Yeah.
you're going to get rid of all the social media garbage.
I want to see it burn. I'm
Okay.
just gonna let it go because I mean it's
Steve
the greatest.
loves cancel culture. That's what we just learned.
No, I don't cancel culture. Therefore, I'm uncancel
Oh,
culture.
well, there's a
You
good point.
support cancel culture, so you're pro cancel.
No, I support
You would-
allowing things to go, to run their course because it will be interesting. It's like communism.
They will run, that whole saying like, they came for so and so and I didn't say
Mhm.
anything, and then they came
Yeah.
for so and so and then eventually they came for me, and there was no one to stand up for me because
Sure,
that would be you at the end of the cancel culture
I
situation.
understand that. However, cancel culture eats itself, so I want to see that cancer eat itself.
Sure.
That's what I want to see.
Fair
I want to
enough.
see. I want to see it work itself out, and I know it will. Because that's the way that it's got to go, and I feel like that's going to influence the world in a way that we that we maybe can't perceive at the moment, but think how quickly things have changed, how quickly things have developed and gone crazy.
Sarah says, life with the internet minus the advertising algorithm.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, you know, and yeah, and
Do you remember when
they
the internet
push
was
for
where
the
we went to-
addictiveness, you know? Yeah.
Remember when the point of the internet was to not have commercials, and now you can't watch you can't watch a 5-second clip without doing a 30-second commercial.
What do you mean?
We're at the end of the show, guys.
Oh, yes. Well, it's been a great show.
Good times.
Yes.
Everyone put a wind turbine on your vehicle.
Yep. Turn it backwards. It'll blow you right away. Let's just hook a gas
It's
engine up to
perpetual
that
motion,
propeller.
trust me.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can check us out on Minds. You can check us out on Parler, Instagram.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans, the Sensible Sociopath Podcast. We are on all audio podcasting platforms, so please download our shows and give us reviews, likes, thumbs up, 5 stars. Subscribe to us here on YouTube,
Find us on
Subscribe.
Instagram.
Rumble, and BitChute hasn't been uploading our newer episodes as we've been going, but I keep trying. And, you know, I think we're just too controversial for BitChute. So, but please subscribe to us there as well. We're live every Friday at 8 o'clock. We do have some good guests coming up, like we have tonight, but also some other ones coming up. So stay tuned. Do we have anything else we want to tell people?
Nope.
Awesome.
Thanks for watching, guys.
You guys are great. Thank you for everyone.
Best podcast in the world.
The world would not be the same.
I like it.
No wonder my anxiety's so high.
Few people laughed. Few people cried.
Oh, what's in the box?
Most people were silent.
And that was it. I
Now I am become death,
Sounds like a bad time.
the destroyer of worlds.
Yeah, so this doesn't seem like a great idea to me.
I suppose we all thought that, one way or another.
You didn't tell me any of that. That's crazy.
Well, Rama, when you're a hero, you don't tell everyone until you're on your podcast.
I'm about to hear some shit.
We all need to laugh.
I think just sitting down and, listening to...
The Sensible Sociopath. This is the shit you're supposed to be watching.
Gen X is gonna love it. Millennials are gonna be like, I'm offended.
You have offended me.
Also, my dog has a giant dick.
Oh my God, that's enormous.
I love it.
It's still a racist dog whistle.
Where you kind of have like a rotating cast of characters.
We're talking baby seals, eagles, wolves.
I'm just glad we're not going to have to eat with racism anymore.
It's worse than the butthole.
We're technically considered propaganda.
It is very contagious.
I think we really need to talk about environmentalism.
Like, are they studying pine cones?
Make yourself a nice stingray omelet. That's how Steve Irwin died. Cholesterol.
It's fucking delicious.
His father had ended up killing his mother and committing suicide.
In that order?
That's diabolical. I like it.
They had an apple gun where you could shoot Bigfoot.
Has she always been retarded?
I mean, she could have had a head injury.
You don't know anything about tartar sauce.
He had picked up a 400-pound statue and was like walking around with it.
Was the statue racist?
I'd like to think so.
It's like how they invented bacon and avocado to make a turkey sandwich tolerable.
I have a fear of fire.
Like a werewolf? Daniel, you've been our greatest viewer. Well, Daniel and Sarah and Katrina.
Daniel!